Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be talking about 7 mistakes that makes your application to be rejected, especially for those that are applying for graduate school, scholarship, or even undergraduate scholarships. So this can be applied to everyone that is looking for scholarship. So I'm going to be sharing with you the 7 common mistakes. Yeah, Sunday, good evening. Thank you for joining. So, what I'm going to be talking about are the 7 mistakes that get your application rejected. So, you need to pay attention. If you don't have your pen and paper, just get your pen and paper because this session is going to be hot. Trust me, it's going to be hot. So, make sure you have your pen and paper nearby. If you have been applying and you're getting rejections, like a few minutes ago, I scrolled through my LinkedIn, I saw someone saying that he has a first class and he has applied for 4 years. First class, 4 years, rejections. What's the reason why he or she's getting rejected? That's what I'm going to be talking about here. I've also been there before. So I'm not sharing theory. I'm talking from experience, what I know, what I've been through. That's what I'll be sharing. So before we proceed, we'll give some minutes for a few more persons to join the call so that I don't have to repeat myself continuously. So Sunday, can you tell me what scholarships are you applying for? What are the scholarships you're applying for? Is it masters or undergraduate, or what are your plans? What scholarship are you applying for, Sunday? So guys, I'm going to be giving some time, like we'll start officially. Blessing, welcome. We'll start officially in the next 2 to 3 minutes. So let me just share this link to some other groups so that people can join the call. Then we'll start officially. If you have been applying and getting rejected, this call is for you. So that we'll talk about it, especially I'm referring to scholarship opportunities. That's what I'm referring to. If you have been applying and you're getting rejected, this call is for you. Make sure you get your pen and paper and pay attention to the end. So let's wait for 2 minutes. 2 minutes, then we are good to go. Okay, Sunday, do you have your undergraduate already? Do you have undergraduate degree already, or you just want to apply for undergraduate scholarship, or you are still in school? Which one? Okay. We are starting in 2 minutes. If you just join the call, just write your name. If you just joined, write your name immediately. Oh, your network is bad. If you are just joining the call, write your name. Write your name if you are just joining the call. Tell us where you are joining from. I say that Sunday, my question is, do you already have your undergraduate, or are you an undergraduate student, or you have not started your undergraduate? Like, what level are you in now? Okay, blessing. Welcome. Are you guys having network issues? Okay, you have not started. Okay. But blessing, you are done with your undergraduate, right? Okay. So what are the countries you are exploring? Do you have any country in mind, or you're just looking for scholarship anywhere? A blessing, I'm asking you. Okay, Sunday, 2 years ago, that's when you finish your secondary school. Okay, that's not bad. Okay. Anyway, let's just go straight to the point. So the reason why we're here today is to talk about Ali. This is my hairstyle. Why you come? I just pack the hair now. I just tie the hair two side. That's why I always wear cap because I don't want you guys to see my hair. I decided not to wear cap today because the hair is looking a bit better today. That's why I uncovered it. Okay, so let's go straight to the point. Today, today, we're talking about 7 reasons why your scholarship gets rejected. 7 reasons why your scholarship applications get rejected. Even with your first class, even with your second class upper. So these are the 7 reasons why your scholarship gets rejected. And how are you going to fix it? This can also apply to those that are applying for grants. You can use the knowledge you get here to apply it to your grant application also, even though we still have a class about grant application. So, Blessing, thank you for complimenting the hair. You're looking at European countries, okay? So let's start. The first reason I have on my list is applying too late. I'm guilty of this. I don't know how to teach other people not to apply late because I'm a late comer in terms of application. Everybody knows me. Every time I'm on deadline, I have deadline. Even my friends, they started calling me deadline. But it's not a good thing because I've missed out on several opportunities that I know that I was very qualified for. I've missed out on them because I applied late. And some of them, when you send them email that if they can reopen it, they will tell you no, they will not reopen it because of you. The deadline has passed. And the most painful part of missing a deadline is when you are already on the application and it closes. That's the most painful one. It's better you have not started than when the application closes when you're on it. So some people, some kind of applications can allow you to submit your application even after the deadline. But let me use an example like those email applications. If you submit after the deadline, you can still submit, bounce back, you get rejected. You get rejected because they have programmed the email that at this certain time it should stop as responses. So if you submit it, it's going to bounce back that the deadline has passed. I've lost count how many times I missed deadlines. I've lost count. So another way of missing deadline is when you have that a particular scholarship in mind and you didn't make effort to look for that scholarship to know when it is opening and when it is closing. By the time you want to now apply, you find out that, oh, this application has already ended. Some applications have the specific month in the year when they open, like Mastercard scholarship at Edinburgh. The last time I applied, the last 2 times I applied, they open around September, October, I think. Around, I think, October or September. Yeah, the one I applied that I got to final, it opened in. So you know that around October that Mastercard starts opening. Then you have to time yourself. Don't come and start looking for that particular scholarship by January when you know that it has already closed. Then which other scholarship? Chevening. I think Chevening opens around September or so. I've forgotten. So write out all those scholarships you want to apply for, write them out somewhere and put the date there, the deadlines, or when it opens and when it closes, so that you know when to start working on them. Another thing I do that also helps me, even if I'm applying late, is that I won't look at the application questions on the day I'm going to apply. I will start early questions to see the kind of questions they're asking. I'll start preparing my mind mentally on how to answer those questions. So before the day I'm going to apply, I already know what I'm going to write. I might have brainstormed several times and gotten the exact picture of what I want to write. So that it won't be on that day, I'll start thinking. So when you do it that way, like first thing I said is you need to write out all those applications. Yeah, Chijoke, good evening, welcome. Write out all those applications, write out the dates they are opening, write out the dates they are closing. And if possible, if you can jot down the questions, it's going to help you to remember and to know what you're going to write. So missing deadline is one of the, like applying too late is one of the things that make us to apply wrongly or miss deadline or submit inferior application. Let me tell you the truth, most of the things you do in deadlines, if you do not prepare ahead of time for it, you end up submitting inferior materials, inferior content. I'll give you example like my dissertation. The part of my dissertation that I prepared early, that I started early to write, chapter 1 to 3, those are the places I had my highest score. Like, because when they are commenting on the dissertation, they will comment on the various parts. So those portions that I wrote on time, that I started on time, they are the ones that I got, like the strength of my dissertation rested on those areas. But you see the ones I wrote on dying minutes on the last day, those are the places where there were so many errors that was pointed out for me that I needed to improve on. So it happens like that. You need to know the questions. Start early. That's what I say. Start early. Start early. Do you know that I started preparing for scholarships in 2022? I finally got it in 2024. So you need to start early. What some people do that baffles me is like someone will just come to my DM around that kind of June, July and start telling me that you need a scholarship this year. Like, how is it possible? You're looking for scholarship this year and you're coming around June, July. Is that when you just woke up? You need to start early. Know your plan for the year. Know your plan for the year. Know the scholarships you want to apply for. Know everything you want to do. Like, know the number of applications you want to submit. Don't go and pack so many things. Anyway, let me not say a lot of things now, so I won't mix the point because I have so many other points I'm going to talk about. So this first one I talked about is applying too late. Make sure you stop applying too late. Plan. Failing to plan is planning to fail. I'm also advising myself because I always apply late. So I'm telling myself, start early, prepare early, apply early. Then the second point, you can use a Google Sheet to track all these deadlines. You can use a Microsoft Word, anyhow you want. You can use a Jotter. Sometimes I prefer using Jotter because if I have a Jotter, I open the Jotter every time. Sometimes how I track it is by using my Opera Mini. When I open the tab, open. Most times I revisit all the open tabs I have in my Opera Mini to know the applications I wanted to work on. Then I write out the deadlines. Anyone I see that I've missed, I'll just remove it from that list. Second mistake, ignoring eligibility rules. When you ignore the eligibility, let me tell you the truth, you are heading for a rejection. You are heading for a rejection. This is one of the reasons why I wasted 2 years looking for scholarship, because even when I see the eligibility, I, I, I Chijioke, what is it now? Eh? Why are you saying that my beauty this evening is not allowing some of you to concentrate? I need to start covering my hair again. Oh. You see why I like to cover the hair? Only today that I opened it. Maybe I'll use my hanky and cover it. Be careful though. You want me to cover the hair? Like this? Is it okay like this? So that you concentrate. Charles, sorry for coming late. Or maybe you should be telling us sorry. Why did you come late? So the second point I raised is ignoring the eligibility rules. So this is one of the things that kept me for 2 years without getting a scholarship. At least it contributed to 70 to 80% of the rejections I got about these eligibility rules. For instance, I was applying for, when I remember those things I applied for that time, I'll be laughing at myself. Why did I even do this? Yeah, I know I'm passionate about climate change. But I shouldn't have gone that far. I was too stubborn then. I said if it's not climate change, I'm not going to do another course. So, but when I look at those applications, climate change related courses, most of them, they will want you to have a degree in science related courses. But my degree is social science. Do you know that I don't have my master's, but I went to apply for PhD in earth science at Stanford University. Like I jump masters, apply PhD in earth science, not even PhD in economics. My BSc is economics. I applied for PhD in earth science. And when I look at the course module, those things there, the names they are not something I'm familiar with. I was still stubborn. I just feel like, oh, I've gotten a lot of award in climate change, so I should qualify. I applied. I came to Oxford. I applied for masters in earth science. Masters in earth science. The professor I wrote an email to, by the time he responded, because I applied late, I applied on the last day. And that was when I contacted the supervisor, when I was supposed to contact the person earlier. So I contacted the supervisor very late. By the time he responded, I've submitted my application. He now suggested another course to me that is related to a combination of economics and climate. The moment he suggested another course, I know that that one I applied, I've already lost it because I applied for earth science and my BSc is economics. So you see the sometimes you have to have similar background in your undergraduate to fit into that your postgrad. If you didn't read the eligibility for each course, I used to read it, but I will be stubborn. I want to do what is in my mind. I'll go ahead and apply for that thing I want to apply for, and I'll get rejected. I was wasting my time then applying for pure science courses for my masters. Then some of this eligibility will be about the country. Some of them will be like you need to be from specific countries. And when you see that you're not from those countries, you shouldn't go ahead and apply. Just forget about it because even if you apply, you will get rejected. Some of these applications we say you must have a GRE. And I'm one of the persons that said I was not going to write any test, any GRE, English language test, anything that is test. I don't have much time to start spending on reading and preparing for tests. I just decided I'm not writing any test. So if I see those applications that needed test, I will just skip it. But some people will go ahead and submit their application even when they don't have the test, and you will get rejected. Some of them will tell you to put to have a specific GPA as your minimum. Like some of them will say you should have a first class, and you do not have a first class, you went ahead to apply, you will get rejected. They say second class upper, you had third class, you want to apply, you will get rejected. So don't ignore those eligibilities. Don't ignore them. The one that pay me, this one pay me, eh? Why the thing pain me is because this is my first time I gathered the courage to pay for application fee, and these guys had the mind to reject me. Is the one I applied in Canada. I don't want to apply for Canada, but I saw myself in dream that I got a scholarship in Canada. I said, let it not be like I'm the stubborn person. That's the second time I'm having Canada in my dream. The first dream I traveled outside the country. The country I went to was Canada. In real life, I don't like Canada. I don't like applying to Canada because they must chop your money in one way or the other, either through application fee or through English language test or through GRE. You can never escape spending your money when applying to Canada unless it's a Mastercard scholarship. Either way, if it's not a Mastercard scholarship, Canada must chop your money in one way or the other. So I had that dream, the second dream again. I say make e no be say me I dey stubborn oo. I don see Canada for dream 2 time. In real life, I no dey apply. I come say okay make I try. I come gather money wey I no get. Chai! Me that say I will never pay application fee with my money. I say make e no be say I dey disobedient. I don see that dream several times. I gather money wey I no see. Money wey I no see, 165 Canadian dollars. That is close to 200,000 naira. I gather this money and applied, and these people get my knack me rejection. That will be my first and last application fee that I will pay in my life. Never again. So when I was applying when I was applying for that stuff, they talked about their grade. You need to have I don't know, I've forgotten, but there is a specific grade they mentioned there. You need to have it. But as of then, I've not seen my final result, so I don't know what I scored. I've not seen my final result. I just explained to them. But my current result at that point, like my interim transcript at that point, didn't reach that grade. My mind was telling me, no apply, no apply. Cashier like this. I was stubborn. I went and applied. And then they reject me. So if they give a specific grade or all those things. And one thing that Canada do that I don't like is that most times their opportunities, they will say it's for Canadian citizens or permanent residents. That's how most of the opportunities are. That's why a lot of people are getting scholarships in US, UK. But Canada is very limited. If it's not MasterCard, other ones, MasterCard consider Africans, yeah, but other ones, they will prioritize Canadian citizens or permanent residents. That's how most of their things are. So, and then the class size, that stuff I applied, the class size is 15. So imagine out of almost 500 applications, only 15 people will get selected. It means that a lot of qualified people will get rejected because they have automatic funding. If you get accepted, you're getting the funding. So make sure you check eligibility criteria before you apply. Make sure you check it. If there are 10 eligibilities, make sure that you score 10 over 10. If you check yourself against all the eligibilities, make sure you score 10 over 10. Then you know that you are eligible to apply. You go ahead and apply. If not, forget about it and look for the next opportunity. Let me give an example. Get Cambridge scholarship. They need people with the highest GPA. They don't care about your poverty background. If you're applying for Gate Cambridge and you're telling them about how you don't used to eat food, you used to drink garri, it's not their business. What they are looking at is the highest CGPA, and they will pick people with the highest CGPA. And you know that me like this, I went and applied for Gate Cambridge, even though I don't have the highest CGPA. So that's part of the mistakes I made then, that I was applying without considering the eligibility. Even though I know that I didn't qualify for this, I'll go ahead and apply. Number 3, generic personal statement. Some of us are too lazy. This also happened to me. Too lazy to tailor your personal statement. Now, we are not just talking of personal statement, even your them to that particular school and the course you're applying for. Don't use one personal statement and apply for multiple scholarships and just change the name of the schools. No, that is generic. Even if you see a template online, don't just edit the template and put in your names. You have to write a personalized personal statement. That's one thing about me I started doing recently. I didn't know about this when I started applying because I don't have anybody to guide me. So that's why I'm guiding you guys today. So then I'll use one personal statement and apply for in fact the way I used to apply that time, hey, in a day I've submitted 5 applications. But now I cannot do 5 applications. I can't even finish one in a day. If I want to produce a standard application, sometimes it take me days. But before, a day I'm submitting like 5. A day 5. I don't even know how I used to do it then. And I'll get rejected in all of them. So because you're just doing copy and paste, you're editing. You do not think. You have to think critically. Like bring out a quality write-up. Bring out something that is quality. Relate it to your personal story. Let it not be another person's story. Maybe you saw a template online, you copied it and edit. Let it be your own story. Your own story. You know one thing about storytelling? Storytelling helps to connect the reader to the scenario. If you write a good story, the person that is marking your application will be able to resonate with everything. The person can even picture the scene and know exactly what happened, even though that person is not there. So if your personal statement, you are reading it and you cannot relate to it, that thing is not a personal statement and it cannot lead you to anywhere. That's why you see some people, they have first class academically because examination is not a true test of knowledge. You cram your notes, you enter the exam, you wrote everything, you got A, you came out, you cannot win a scholarship, you cannot write a standard personal statement. You see that having a first class is different from having the knowledge. Yeah, it's different from having the knowledge. So when you are writing your personal statement, you need to talk about first the way I used to teach people how to write personal statements. First of all, start start from your journey. Like lead us through a story about your journey, about what you have been through. You can start from your childhood, but don't start with growing up. I hate that thing. I hate it. I hate it. So I hate it. I don't want to see it in your write-up. Even your reviewers, they hate to see it. When you write growing up, they know that thing is coming from ChatGPT. I've reviewed countless of essays for people. And the moment I see growing up, I get tired. I stop reading. I lose interest in it. That growing up, if you tell ChatGPT to write essay for you, ChatGPT will start it with growing up in a small village or growing up in Nigeria, growing up in that, growing up in there. I don't want to see growing up anywhere in your write up. Why will you say growing up? No, tell me why. Why not tell a story? Tell a story of that your childhood experience. Okay, like I was writing application. There is one stuff I submitted recently. I want to tell a story about sanitary pad, about period, how the topic people really talk about it in Nigeria. Even some mothers they are scared to talk about it. So how I started the story when I was in primary 6, I was 9 years old. Then I saw that was the first time I saw a girl menstruate in my class. The lesson was going on and she keep running out of the class. She goes out, she comes back with tissue, and it continued till the end of the class until there was a visible blood stain in her clothes. Our female teacher could not say anything about the situation. She was silent. I was scared to ask questions. I don't understand what was happening. I've never menstruated, so I don't know what it is. I saw her, I saw blood stains. I can't explain it. Then that was how I started the story. So the person that will be reading it will be able to picture that scene to know exactly what happened. I will not come and say growing up in Nigeria. I don't like that growing up. Please stop it. Stop it. So what I'm talking about is personalized story. Personalized story. If you use AI to write, AI is not as smart as human. That's just the truth. AI should be an aid, not to replace human beings. AI should not be the one to write for you. AI should not replace your thinking. To be honest with you, I've written some things with AI. I've written so many things with my brain. And the truth is that I produce better content with the ones I wrote with my brain than the ones I wrote with AI. That's why I get frustrated sometimes because AI will be giving you rubbish. I'll just tell it, get out. Because like AI is not human being. That's just the truth. AI does not know your story. You are the only one that knows your story. Even if you want to adjust your write-up with AI, let it be to kind of refine the grammars or whatever or the structure, but let it not replace your content. You are the person that knows your story. You should be able to tell your story properly. You should be able to tell your story properly. And storytelling is very important when you're writing ways. Some personal statements will give you a guide, like what they want to see in your write-up. Make sure you read those things properly so that whatever you are writing, you are reflecting how you meet those criterias, even without mentioning it specifically. But let your write-up show those things they want to see, those things they want you to cover. Don't, for instance, if they raise 5 points, you should cover these points in your personal statement. Don't cover two and leave the rest. Cover all those 5 points, but let it be a coherent story. Let it not look like a list of bullet points. You talk about this one, you jump into that one, you jump into this one. You are not telling a story. A good story connects the dots. A good story is like a chain. There is no gap. Once you are reading your personal statement and you're feeling the gap, the breakage, then you didn't write a good story. A good story should connect your primary school experience to your secondary, university, undergraduate, postgraduate. Let it be a continuous cycle. The story should connect all the dots. There shouldn't be a gap. This should be the leading cause why you study this, and this is the reason why you want to do this. That is how a good story or a good personal statement should be. If they didn't give you a maximum, you can target 500 words, 1 page, at most 2 pages. Don't exceed 2 pages. Number 4, weak recommendation letter. I remember that there's one of my recommenders then. I stopped asking him to give me a recommendation letter because he's using one recommendation letter to submit all my applications for me. And I was like, even if I rewrite and give him, like, look at this point, you need to include this point, he'll still use the same original one that he wrote first. All he needs to do is just take out the name of the receiver and replace it with the name of the new place I want to send it. And this continued. I keep getting rejected. I had to talk to myself, no, this is not how a recommendation letter should be. A recommendation letter should be tailored to that particular school or particular scholarship you're applying to. A good recommendation letter should not start with "to whom it may concern." That is generic because you can use it and submit to so many schools. It should have the address of where you're submitting it to. You should speak about that particular thing you're applying for. The thing that is writing it should show how many years he or she have known you and in what capacity. The person should be able to show that he or she knows you very well. If you see a generic recommendation letter, you will know. If you see the one that is well detailed, that this person knows this person very well, you will know from the content of the write-up. And if you see the ones that they are lying, you will know. The person will be praising you, praising you, praising you, without showing like personalized relationship that you both shared. So a good recommendation letter should be able to demonstrate that relationship between the both of you. Is in the capacity of a mentor or a lecturer, in what capacity? Should be able to say one or two things that shows that this person knows you. That's how a good recommendation letter should be. It should not be generic. Some of us, our recommendation letter is a problem why we are getting rejected. If you have, there is one person from the WhatsApp group that asked me one day, The guy sent me a recommendation letter if he can use it for scholarship. I told him no. I don't know who gave him that letter. He has been using it for all his scholarship applications because it is generic to whom it may concern, and you're submitting it everywhere and you want to get scholarship. You're not serious. You're not serious. That is why some time ago I posted on my status, you need to have a good relationship with your lecturers. If you are the kind of student that likes to mind his or her business, by the time you finish school and need a recommendation letter from your lecturer, that's when you will regret it. You will regret why you minded your business, why you did not make those lecturers your friend. Make them your friend. They are human beings. They are not policemen or policewomen. They are not bad people. They are your lecturers. Let them be your friend. Let me tell you, one of my lecturers in undergraduate, we still communicate till date. That was back in 2017. Next year will be 10 years of knowing each other. And guess what? I have his number in my head. Even my husband's number, no carry am for head. The only number I carry for head like this na my sister's number. I no carry another number for head, but that my lecturer, I carry number for head because each time the recommendation letter will demand that you put in the number. I have no other option. I've put the number several times. I've seen the number several times. The number is already on my head. This someone I can call in the middle of the night. He will answer my call. Someone that has even invited me to his house. I met with the wife, with the child. Like we are like a family already. Even when my dad died, I didn't tell him immediately. When I was telling him was the burial time, he was angry with me. Why didn't you tell me when he died? Even when his mom died, I was part of the committee of friends. Like that's to show you the relationship we have maintained till today. Till today. Sometimes he will call me, we'll discuss normal discussions. You want us to work on a research project. We'll discuss. I think that is what it should be. Although I don't blame some students because some lecturers in Nigeria, they will start looking for another thing. But if you meet the good ones, those that have integrity, like this my lecturer I'm talking about, he's a man, a married man, he has integrity, and he's a good person. If you meet those kind of people, I mean, what is there that you can't keep that relationship? When it comes to recommendation letter, you just have to, just a phone call, and he will respond. And with my deadline habit, I don't need a recommender that I cannot be able to reach because I can wake up now and start doing application that is closing today and I need a recommendation letter. If it's someone that is unreachable, I cannot reach a person. Or I'll start looking for protocol, start looking for how to beg. But this one, you just call the person, tell him, say, okay, okay. And the person will give it to you. Like, so you need to have that relationship. And sometimes it's not just your lecturers. When I came to SOAS, I met one of SOAS alumni on LinkedIn. We discussed. I came here, we met, and he has been my mentor all those while. And he has also been helping me out with the recommendation letter. He has been helping me. So you can have an academic mentor, even like those people that already have, like, let's say like PhD, like they can write recommendation letter, academic recommendation letter for you in the capacity of your academic mentor. So make sure you keep those relationships. Even my lecturers at SOAS, when I left SOAS, yes, I still go to SOAS. I still go there. I still give them gifts. I still discuss with them. Like we're having a good relationship. It's not just I'm done with my school, then I'm not going there again. No, I don't do like that. Everybody in my family knows that I'm one of the persons that keep relationships very well. Some people have their numbers so many years ago. And even though we don't talk, but some of them are surprised that I still have their number. Sometimes I'll just reply your message or chat you off. Like keep relationships is good. It's going to help you in future. It's going to help you. That's why you don't have to burn down bridge because you may need them. When you cross over, don't burn down the bridge. You may need them later. Number 5. Did I talk about this? Okay. Incomplete documentations. That's number 5. Sometimes they ask you to do waste evaluation. You saw that the school needed a waste evaluation. You went ahead and applied when you don't have the waste evaluation. Sometimes they need you to provide your transcript, your official transcript. You don't have it and you couldn't provide it. They will disqualify you. Sometimes They needed you to provide your test score like GRE, IELTS, and you don't have it and you went and applied, they will disqualify you. All those schools that needed tests, GRE, I wrote email to them. I don't have GRE, can you waive it for me? They say no. I rest, I did not apply. I don't want to waste my time and apply. So, like proof of fund have made some persons to lose scholarships. I know a guy from my WhatsApp group, he told me he got the Alan and Nesta Ferguson scholarship in SOAS last year. He couldn't take up the scholarship because of proof of fund issues. So make sure that you check everything, have all the documents required. Some of them will need you to have your official transcript, you don't have it, or your degree certificate. Get all those documents that you need, or CV. Get all those documents and submit them as a PDF. That's the recommended format. I'm recommending PDF. I know someone that submitted a recommendation letter in Microsoft Word format. It was rejected because Microsoft Word can be edited. So they don't want something that you must have tampered with. They will reject it and tell you to resubmit it in PDF. My sister applied with transcript, PDF transcript. It was rejected. They told her to scan it and send because they believe that someone cannot edit a scanned document, but a PDF can be converted to Microsoft, a PDF can be edited, but they needed a scanned copy. So if they tell you a scanned copy, make sure you submit scanned copy. They have a reason for that. Don't just say, oh, you upload it like that. Scan it before you upload if that is the request, because they will reject you because of that. They will feel like you have tampered with it. That is why it is not the scanned copy. Then, mistake number 6, typographical error and poor formatting. When you finish writing everything, you have touched all the areas you're supposed to touch, make sure you do a grammar check. You can use Qboot to check the grammatical errors, correct it. And sometimes Qboot is also wrong sometimes. If you don't read what you get from Qboot, you end up submitting something that have typographical error. And it is a crime to submit a personal statement or whatever that have typographical error, especially if you're applying at the master's or PhD level. They assume that you should know what you're doing. You shouldn't be submitting write-ups with typographical error at that stage in your life. So even when you finish reading it, you can give it to someone else to read it, because let me tell you the truth, if you're overwhelmed with something, if you're doing something, you may not see the errors until after you have submitted. That is when your eye will clear. That time you are doing it, even if you read it 10 times, you will not see that mistake. That's why it is good to give it to someone, a second person, to look at it, to see the mistakes or whatever and correct it. The person will tell you, oh, look at this, look at this. You correct it before you submit it. It's very important. I know several times I've submitted some stuffs. Something I know that I read this thing over and over. I didn't see those mistakes because I was overwhelmed when I was applying. It was after I submitted, I went back to read. I start seeing errors. I got tired. Number 7 mistake. This one will sound a little bit absurd, but it is very important. Before I say this number 7, if you have not subscribed, subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. So, number 7 is when you don't have a follow-up plan. Why did I say follow-up plan? Let me give an example. Some applications, they have interviews, right? And they have specific dates when the interview will be conducted. Let's assume that the interview will happen on the 2nd of January and you felt satisfied, you have submitted a strong scholarship application, and on 2nd of January you are on transit. That means you didn't plan yourself properly. By the time they send you the interview stuff, you're already on transit. You're supposed to have the interview and then you can't access the internet or whatever. Have a proper follow-up plan. There is one application. Well, I I don't know. Will I say that? What will I even say? I don't know. Sometimes I just like to apply, even though I know that I'm not taking this offer. I will just apply. I saw one PhD opportunity. It is starting in January, though we have already passed January. I saw the application today and it is closing tomorrow. and I have to go to work tomorrow. I stayed up all through the night writing research proposal and then personal statements. They needed just one person for that PhD. And they said that you must be able to pay your living expenses. They are going to cover only your tuition fee. Imagine doing a PhD and only your tuition fee was covered. And then where will I get living expenses of almost £20,000? Where will I get it from? I don't have the money anywhere. I went and applied for that PhD when I know that it's only school fees that is covered. I went and applied. Why am I talking about this? The seventh point I said, I'm trying to demonstrate the seventh point, having no follow-up plan. I don't have £20,000 to cater for my living expenses. I don't have any follow-up plan. I searched everywhere. I didn't see any scholarship that will cover my living expenses. But I applied. Then during the interview, I didn't prepare questions. I was answering from my jotter. I'll tell them, please excuse me. I'll read what I wrote on my jotter and answer. I was very unprepared, even though I spoke with one of my lecturers. She gave me tips. It was all those tips she gave me. I jotted it down. I don't know how happened. I wasn't prepared. And then some of the questions they threw at me. That's my first time of having a PhD interview. So some of the questions were unfamiliar questions to me. And then another thing is that that topic is not something I'm passionate about. It's because I just needed a PhD badly. I wasn't passionate. So I was not prepared properly. I was reading some things from the book to answer their questions. I already know that I've lost this one. Then they asked me the question, am I aware that this PhD covered only tuition fee? I said, yes, I'm aware. Then I asked me, what are my plans to make up for the remaining balance for my living expenses? I told them I have faith. So I just have faith that I'll get it. This type of faith, I don't know if faith is enough at that point. That's not what they want to hear. They want to hear that I say, oh, I've saved this amount of money. Oh, I've done this, I've done that. When the rejection came, I was not shocked. I know I was going to get rejected. I know. I know that I'll get rejected. I just got the experience. At least I've experienced a PhD interview and saw what it looks like. So make sure you're having follow-up plan for all the applications you're making, depending on what the application requires. Some of you that are applying to SOAS, there are some SOAS scholarship that will give you only £8,000. You went and applied for it. When they select you for it, you are not taking the offer. So why did you apply? Do you have a backup plan? What are your plans when you get the 8,000? Let me tell you the truth. When I applied to SOAS, I saw all the partial scholarships. I did not touch all of them. The only scholarship I applied for was that of Dr. Miyamani. That was the only fully funded scholarship I saw. Even in my write-up, I wrote that this is the only scholarship that is fully funded that I saw, the only remaining fully funded scholarship. And that is why I applied to it. I saw other ones. I said, make I no go rush apply for 8,000. They'll carry 8,000, knock me. Wait till I won't carry 8,000 too. Where I go get the rest of the money from? So that's just the truth. So even when my sister was applying, I told her, even the ones that cover only tuition fee, don't apply for them. Anyone you're applying for must cover tuition and living expenses, because those ones that cover only tuition fee, they will give it to you fast, or those ones that cover just a portion of your tuition fee, and they release the list of that one first before they will release the other ones. By the time you have gotten one, they will not give you another one. So be strategic. Be strategic. If you know you cannot cover this balance, don't waste your time to apply. Don't waste your time. Don't come and tell me tomorrow you are looking for £16,000 to make up your school fees. You got £8,000 scholarship. That is not scholarship. Make I tell you the truth. So I think I've covered the 7 mistakes we make when we're applying for scholarship. Let me give a recap. We said number 1, applying too late. Don't be like me that always apply late. Have a plan. Start early from January. Know the things you want to apply for the whole of the year. Write it down. Write out the start date and the end date, and know when to start to apply. Don't apply late. Number 2, ignoring the eligibility criteria. If they give a minimum GPA nationality, where you must be from, or you must reside in this location, or this is for people in specific field. Make sure you read all those eligibility. Don't ignore any eligibility criteria. Number three, generic personal statement. When I say personal statement, I also refer to both the statement of purpose, depending on the one they ask for. Some will ask you statement of purpose, some will ask you personal statement, some will ask you motivation letter. All those things, let it not be generic. Don't use one personal statement and apply for every opportunity you see. You have to tailor it to the opportunity, tailor it to your own story. Show how that relationship, show the relationship between your lived experience and that course you're applying for and the school you chose. And why did you choose that school? Why that scholarship? Let it show in your write up. Number four, I said recommendation letter, weak recommendation letter. Don't go and use recommendation letter that started with to whom it may concern. Don't go and use generic recommendation letter that the person cannot even talk about your personal relationship with him or her, how the person met you, how the person have been your mentor or your lecturer or whatever. Let it be personalized recommendation letter. Number five, I talked about incomplete documents. Incomplete document like missing transcript, missing test scores, missing proof of fund. Those things are very important. Number six, I talked about typographical and formatting errors. Like make sure you edit properly. Let there be no errors. Number seven, when you don't have a follow-up plan, that's when I'm talking about those of you applying for partially funded opportunities. You don't have plan on how to complete it. Why did you apply? If they ask you during the interview and they saw that you cannot complete it, they will reject you. Any question? Have you subscribed? Oh yeah, subscribe now. Subscribe. Support me, subscribe. If you have any question or comments, what do you feel about the session? Did you learn something today? What do you want me to talk about next Sunday? So let's have your comments. I'm waiting for that. Thank you. Yeah, I'm waiting for your comments. Sunday said thank you. It's only Sunday that is in this call. Okay, Abdul. Abdul said thank you so much for the session, ma. Thank you, Abdul, for joining. Sunday, you want me to still talk about scholarships, okay? Who else? Questions, comments? How did you feel about the session? I'm still waiting. If everybody did not comment, I'm not going to talk about scholarship next Sunday. Where is Mercy? Where is Blessing? Charles? Okay, Charles. I'm glad you love it. Chijoke, are you still here? Chijoke, I don't think I've seen your comment. I don't know if Chijoke is still here. Who and who have not dropped any comment? Mercy, are you still here? Okay, Charles said grants next week or fellowships. Okay, we are going to talk about it. Next week, I'll choose between grants or fellowships and see which one to talk about. So, okay. So, in the absence of any other question or comment, I would love to appreciate you all for joining and plead with you to subscribe to this channel. If you have people that are looking for scholarships, tell them to subscribe. My mentorship services is still going on. In case you want to register for the one-on-one mentorship, you are free to register. Jessica, I saw your comments. Thank you for joining. So if you want to register for one-on-one mentorship, you send me a DM and then I'll put you through on how to register. Okay, Blessing is asking a database where one can get all scholarships tracked. Yeah, some people have opportunity tracking devices. You just have to check it online. Maybe later we can talk about that in the WhatsApp group. Another thing you can use is you can use Excel sheet too. put all those things, the name of the opportunity, the deadline, and then you revisit it or set a reminder for each one. The thing I'm doing personally, I don't know about others. I'm doing two things. Is either I write it out, but the first thing I do is that any opportunity I want to apply for, I'll open it on Opera Mini. You can use Chrome. Your Chrome will have your tabs, different tabs. You can use Chrome. Any opportunity I want to apply for, I just open it on my Opera Mini. It has registered there. I won't close the tab. The next time if I go to my Opera Mini, I will see the number of open tabs. Sometimes it will be up to 60 or more than. Then I will scroll through them one by one so that I'll remember their deadlines again. Then I will write out. If I have time, writing takes time, but I have a jotter where I write. But if I don't have enough time to write everything, those ones that the dates are closer, I write them out. Like the ones closing within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, I write them out. So that anyone I do, I tick good on my jotter. Anyone I do, I tick it good. Then I'll go to the Opera Mini and delete it from the browser. So that is what I do personally. Some people have opportunity tracking device that they use to track. So just do what favors you, do what will work for you. Any other question? Okay, no question. How one can use AI to rewrite his original work without losing the content? AI. There's a way you talk about AI. You raise some ethical questions, so I'll still have a session on AI. Well, for now, I don't want to be misunderstood and to be seen as academic misconduct. So, Blessing, you can ask me that question in my DM. Any other question? So, what about comments? How did you feel about the session? It's not about questions now. You have asked questions. What do you feel? Do you like the session? Did you enjoy the session? What did you learn? What's the new thing you are taking home from this session? Okay, you're welcome. I'm going to be ending the live stream. I'll see you all. I'll see you all next week. If you have not subscribed, try and subscribe, okay? Bye bye.